In this episode, Jordan Peterson talks with activist and filmmaker Robby Starbuck about the rise of woke capitalism. They explore how large corporations are increasingly aligning with political agendas, particularly those of the Democratic Party, instead of prioritizing consumers. Starbuck shares insights from his activism, which focuses on exposing these corporate practices, protecting whistleblowers, and encouraging consumers to push back against ideologies that conflict with their values. They also discuss the difference between Starbuck's activism and cancel culture, as well as the role of faith in his mission for corporate accountability. The discussion begins with an exploration of the phenomenon known as woke capitalism. Starbuck argues that this modern iteration of corporate behavior is reminiscent of the Communist Party's tactics, where the focus has shifted from seizing the means of production to controlling the minds of those who manage production. He points to major tech companies like Google and Facebook as examples of entities that have become extensions of the state's ruling party, suggesting that the customer-centric model of capitalism has been replaced by one that prioritizes the needs and desires of the Democratic Party and large investment firms like BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. Starbuck emphasizes that this shift has profound implications for the average consumer, who is now often funding initiatives that contradict their values. He expresses concern that corporations are increasingly promoting ideologies that are fundamentally opposed to capitalism, which he views as a dangerous trend. The conversation highlights the need for a collective awakening among consumers to recognize the influence of these corporations and to take action against them. Starbuck's activism against woke capitalism began with a personal epiphany when he learned about the troubling practices at Tractor Supply, a company he had previously trusted. A whistleblower from the company revealed that it was funding events and initiatives that contradicted the values of many of its customers. This revelation prompted Starbuck to investigate further, leading him to realize that he was inadvertently supporting a company that was acting against his beliefs. This moment of clarity ignited his passion for activism, and he decided to take a stand against corporations that were promoting ideologies he found objectionable. His approach to activism is strategic and methodical. Starbuck emphasizes the importance of conducting thorough research and building a case before publicly confronting a corporation. He believes that by exposing the discrepancies between a company's public image and its actual practices, he can mobilize consumers to demand change. This strategy has proven effective as he has successfully pressured several companies to reevaluate their policies and align them more closely with the values of their customer base. A significant aspect of Starbucks' activism is the reliance on whistleblowers who provide insider information about corporate practices. He notes that he has built a network of over 5,000 whistleblowers who are willing to share their experiences and insights. This network is crucial for his investigations, as it allows him to gather evidence and verify claims about a company's actions. Starbuck believes that these whistleblowers are essential in holding corporations accountable and ensuring that they adhere to ethical standards. The podcast highlights the importance of creating a safe space for whistleblowers to come forward. Starbuck emphasizes that many employees are afraid to speak out due to potential repercussions, such as job loss or retaliation. By providing a platform for these individuals to share their stories, he aims to empower them and encourage others to join the fight against woke capitalism. This grassroots approach not only strengthens his case against corporations, but also fosters a sense of community among those who share similar values. Starbucks' strategy for combating woke capitalism involves targeting specific corporations one at a time. He explains that by focusing on companies that have a significant conservative customer base, he can create a more substantial impact. His initial campaigns against Tractor Supply, John Deere, and Harley-Davidson serve as prime examples of this approach. Each campaign is carefully crafted to expose the company's practices and rally consumers to demand change. The effectiveness of this strategy lies in its ability to generate public attention and media coverage. Starbucks videos, which typically range from 7 to 10 minutes, serve as a powerful tool for educating consumers about the issues at hand. By presenting compelling evidence and narratives, he captures the audience's attention and encourages them to take action. This method not only raises awareness, but also creates a sense of urgency for consumers to hold corporations accountable for their actions. Starbuck discusses the psychological impact of his activism on both consumers and corporate executives. He believes that by successfully pressuring companies to change their policies, he is instilling a sense of hope and empowerment among consumers. This newfound awareness encourages individuals to take a stand against ideologies that contradict their values, fostering a collective movement toward accountability and integrity in corporate America. On the corporate side, Starbuck notes that executives are beginning to recognize the consequences of their actions. As more companies face public scrutiny and backlash, there is a growing awareness that they must align their practices with the values of their customer base. This shift in mindset is crucial for creating a more ethical corporate landscape, as it encourages leaders to prioritize the needs of their consumers over ideological agendas. A critical point of discussion in the podcast is the distinction between Starbucks activism and the cancel culture often associated with the left. Starbuck asserts that his approach is fundamentally different, as it focuses on educating consumers rather than punishing individuals. He emphasizes that his goal is not to silence dissenting voices, but to create a more informed consumer base that can make choices aligned with their values. This distinction is essential in understanding the broader implications of activism. While cancel culture seeks to eliminate opposing viewpoints through intimidation and fear, Starbucks activism aims to foster dialogue and encourage accountability. By promoting transparency and ethical practices, he hopes to create a more balanced and fair corporate environment where diverse perspectives can coexist without fear of retribution. Starbucks acknowledges the challenges of ensuring that corporations follow through on their promises to change. He points out that many companies may issue statements of intent without making substantial changes to their practices. To combat this issue, he emphasizes the importance of ongoing vigilance and accountability. His team actively monitors the companies they have targeted to ensure that they adhere to their commitments and do not revert to previous practices. The podcast highlights the need for consumers to remain engaged and informed about the companies they support. Starbucks encourages individuals to hold corporations accountable by demanding transparency and ethical behavior. This ongoing engagement is crucial for creating lasting change in corporate America and ensuring that companies prioritize the values of their customers. Throughout the podcast, Starbuck discusses the role of faith in his activism. He shares that his commitment to standing up against woke capitalism is rooted in his belief in doing what is right and just. This moral foundation guides his actions and decisions, providing him with the strength to confront powerful corporations and advocate for change. Starbuck's faith also serves as a source of inspiration for others. He believes that by demonstrating courage and integrity, he can encourage individuals to take a stand for their beliefs. As the conversation progresses, Starbuck reflects on the future of woke capitalism and the potential for change. He expresses optimism that the tide is turning, as more consumers become aware of the issues at hand and demand accountability from corporations. This growing movement has the potential to reshape the corporate landscape, encouraging companies to prioritize ethical practices and align their values with those of their customers. Starbuck also acknowledges that the fight against woke capitalism is far from over. He emphasizes the need for continued activism and engagement to ensure that progress is made. By remaining vigilant and committed to holding corporations accountable, he believes that individuals can create a more just and equitable society. A central theme of the podcast is the importance of individual responsibility in the fight against woke capitalism. Starbuck argues that it is essential for individuals to take ownership of their beliefs and actions, rather than relying on politicians or institutions to effect change. This mindset empowers consumers to make informed choices and advocate for the values they hold dear.